Hi, Sweet Pea.
Hi, Mummy Bear.
We have our penultimate chit-chat
I know.
of this series.
Yep, series 2.
It's episode 27, and this one is with Liz and Fee from New Hope Daylilies.
Yep.
They were back on episode 22 of Garden as well last year.
Yeah, they were so funny.
They were really funny.
They were so funny. They're amazing women. They're so cool.
They were funny on the show and they were funny on our chit-chat. We had really quite a giggle with them.
I love chatting with them.
And we get 2 for the price of 1 this week because we get 2 gardens. So there was a lot of scribbling for you to do because you are the scribe, aren't you?
A huge amount. It's always interesting to see if the people who we do together are going to have one garden that they both were like, yeah, this is going to be the dream garden. Or if they have 2 completely different gardens. And I would say that this was partly the case. There were some things that they had in common.
Small overlaps,
but otherwise they both had clear ideas.
And actually so clear that this is the first time I think this has happened.
Yeah.
They sent their dream gardens before the episode, and I had to try really hard not to read them because I wanted to be surprised on the episode.
You had to... I remember you said to me, I just got an email from Liz and she had sent you these photos. First of all, they're listed, and they're listed their plants and everything and what they wanted, and then there was a drawing.
Yeah, so Liz had done a sketch. Yeah. So that was harder not to look at.
Yeah, because so you swiveled the laptop around and said, okay, just so that you know that there is something that she has sent, you just swiveled it for a second. Don't look.
So probably what we'll do is post that on our Instagram page.
Yes.
After, at some point. We do have permission from Liz to do that, and so you can see her diagram.
Gotcha.
And then the other thing was, when we get to the seating part of Liz's garden.
We're not going to say what seating.
Not going to say what it is, but she did go for a walk, I think, the next day.
Oh, it was so weird.
It was really weird. She went for a walk the next day and passed a house, and outside the house was this particular seating for sale. Yeah. And so she went in and she bought it.
It was amazing.
What are the chances? And again, I have a photo of that, so again I will post that at some point after this episode. Yeah, it's a gorgeous photo of it looks so idyllic that where they live, these pretty painted houses, and then this lovely seat at the front. So exactly, we'll add that in as well.
Another thing to add on top of that was afterwards, and only afterwards, and a good few weeks later, and I went, hold on a tickety-poo. I have a feeling Liz snuck in a 6th ornamental, which I did not realise at the time. I do not know how I didn't realise that, because I had to say it once and then twice at the end when I reread the menu of the garden.
I don't think any of us picked up on it.
I can't believe it. So she snuck in a 6th ornamental.
We're going to have to get more strict, Sweet Pea.
We're going to need to be way more strict. Also, on Liz's front, her water plant, which I'm not going to say what it was, but we were wondering if it was edible. And the roots and the rhizome is used as kind of medicinal. So it can be used in medicine. I think it's for diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Yeah, all those sorts of things.
All those high things. Yeah. So
then also, I think again on Liz's front, there was a plant that she names one of her ornamentals, and it's called Tottering by Gently. And we wondered what came first, if it was the cartoon or this plant, and apparently the plant was named after the cartoon. So I will be putting a link to that and a link to a few other things that were mentioned in this episode on our website, which is notjustagarden.co.uk. It'll be on the gardens page. I'll put a link to the cartoon Tottering by Gently, which is very funny, and as I say, a few of the other things. Yeah. And also something else that we forgot to talk about in the episode, and I had wanted to ask them about, was the gorgeous doggy who was on Gardener's World with them. Yes. On episode 22. Little corgi. Oh, do you remember that corgi?
So gorgeous.
Turns out that corgi is called Pepper-Dog. Talk of the devil, that's our noisy dog.
That's our baby. Pepper-Dog, so cute.
So what else do we have in this? We have 8-sided hexagons. Yep. Lazy Liz's. Yep. We have a top tip using bubble wrap. Also, badminton courts are mentioned, and for reference, you should know that a badminton court is 13.4 metres by 6.1 metres. Sounds a bit arbitrary, but that's 44 foot by 20 foot in old money. Okay. And then noises. Yes. So we had a lot of trouble with the sound because you've got to picture the scene. Liz and Fee are using one earpiece each of their iPhone earphones.
Yeah.
And they're recording on an iPhone, and so they've only got one microphone between them. Liz is propping that up all the way through.
The whole way through.
And I think Fee's hair is touching the microphone quite a bit, so you'll hear a bit of rustling.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Liz is very quiet. I've tried to bring the sound up there. Fee you can hear nice and clearly, but that's why it's a bit disjointed on that front.
Okie dokes. Well, of course, the usual structure for the Dream Gardens are garden boundary, shed or greenhouse, 5 ornamentals, 5 edibles, 6 ornamentals for Liz, 5 edibles, 1 statement tree, pond or pool, plus 1 plant, and finally, favourite seating area and drink, plus 1 plant for that area.
That's right. And of course, we mustn't forget to mention that we've had the Garden as Well compilations.
Of course.
Episode 3 of the compilations.
All the best memories of last season.
Lots of great memories. There was Paula Siqueira and Andrew Durham in Walthamstow.
Yeah.
Jamie Walton, he's the head grower at Braithwaite Sandsend. Amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. We followed him a lot since, actually. It's worth checking out his Instagram page.
He's got such a nice presenting style.
Really, really lovely.
He's gorgeous.
And then Francis is showing Adam's show garden for the Garden as Well live.
That was awesome. I loved that.
Louisiana Curry and Lauren Printy Curry, they were the mother and daughter team who were showing their flowers, their cut flowers. And then Joe Scobie at Guy's and Thomas's Hospital in Lambeth. There was Tatina, Luke and Christine.
Yes, they were amazing.
Yeah. And then Rachel DeTame and that wonderful series they did on the relationship between plants, flowers and pollinators. That really loved all that series.
I'm wanting to work on it in biology at the moment.
Yeah,
with all the plants, because I think the co-evolution between the two are amazing.
Incredible, isn't it? It's mind-blowing.
So cool.
That was with Professor Jane Memott, and then there was Associate Professor Heather Whitney as well.
Yes.
And then of course Monty doing his thing.
Of course.
But I think we should get stuck into this episode.
Which is full of memories for Fiona.
Full of memories for Fiona, a walk down memory lane.
Yeah.
This is episode 27, a good old chit-chat with Liz and Fee.
Off we go.
Welcome, Fee and Liz, to Good Old Chit-Chat.
Hello, both of you.
Hi, both.
Thanks so much for joining us. We've got another coupley one. We have Fee and Liz on one set of wired earphones, and they've got their heads pushed close up together, and they're speaking into one microphone. Luckily, they're very good friends.
It's a good job we're good friends, isn't it?
Exactly that. So, Fee and Liz, we saw you in August last year on Garden as Well, didn't we? That was episode
20. Yeah.
Episode 22.
Yeah, that's right.
And you guys exploded onto our screens with your 300 plus daylilies at New Hope Daylilies. And you had taken over only 2 years before from somebody else.
This was amazing.
Who ran that nursery. Can you tell us a bit about how that all came about?
Yeah, Mark Zenick, an American gentleman who'd lived locally for many years, from Massachusetts originally, he'd run a perennial nursery, but very much concentrated on his real passion, the Hemerocallis daylilies. And he'd relocated to the present site in Colebrook in about 2016. And Liz knew him and was working out of a workshop on the same site, and would occasionally have lunch with him and chat to him and, just enjoy the daylilies.
So were you working at the nursery, Liz?
No, I wasn't. I was doing my own business at that time, which was building bicycles as a frame
Oh my
builder.
gosh.
And I used to go up and have my lunch with Mark, and invariably he would say, "Oh, Liz, I think if you can, could you take a photo of Shady Lady or whoever it was? We say who, but whichever bloom it was." And so he'd be overawed with the wonder of my technical abilities to do this. So just one thing led to another, really. I was eating my lunch up there more. I was taking more photographs, and I was realising that actually I preferred being there to actually being in my workshop. Frames. Yeah, it was a funny...
Oh gosh, I have so many questions already. First of all, do you have a photography background? Is that why he was asking you to take the photos?
I've got an art background, so I know how light should be in things. So I had enough knowledge to be able to sort of make a nice photo. But the daylily is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's
stunning, isn't it?
July, isn't it?
And Mark was not into his technology and didn't have even a phone that took, and he won't mind us saying that, didn't have a phone that took photographs. So it was just Liz's generosity of helping him out and enjoying his company. And
and then as he was sort of wanting to retire, I'd done enough work up there for him to suggest that maybe I might be the optimal woman. And I just said, look, I can't do this on my own, And as that conversation was going on, Fee's husband, Rich, happened to be there. And three of us were sitting in a row, me, Rich, Fee's husband, and Mark. And that's what happened, really.
Wait, what was Rich's part in it?
Well, his part was voting me in without really. He just said, "Oh yeah, I'm sure Fee would be interested." Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you played no part in this, Fee, whatsoever.
Yeah.
So Liz, Richard,
not
and Mark
directly, not directly initially, no, because I was originally in banking and then was a school business manager, and I'd finished my job as school business manager with a view that I was going to have more time at home and help my husband's business a little bit with his bookkeeping and stuff. And we've also got a house in France, so I was doing all the lettings for that, and so I just was going to merrily do that. And then I got persuaded.
Yeah.
And I've known Liz
onto the board.
Yeah, but I've known Liz in a quite a broad friendship circle for a long time, for many years. So I just said, well, let's give it a go for a year or two. So we helped Mark out in his last year, where we were both weeding ferociously and helping
dividing.
pot up.
Yeah.
And then we just said, well, let's give it a go. But we wanted to make it into a growing, thriving business to make it worthwhile for us both, really.
So when Mark had it, sorry to interrupt, but when Mark had it, how was the business doing? The business side of it?
It was doing great. He'd got about 220 cultivars, was it, or 200? About 220 cultivars. And Mark had been collecting and growing some daylilies that you can't get anywhere else in the country. They're from America originally, or from other contacts that he's got around the world. So it was a very special field of plants. But he was running it. It had a website, but there wasn't a lot of online sales. It was like minimal online sales. And we just felt that if it was going to reward us for both our time and our energies, then we had to sort of move it forward
and write a website.
Make it your own.
So the first thing we did really when we formally took it on in the September was we started cracking on with the website, and that's been amazing. It's gone really well for us. So we're shipping all around the country now.
Wow. So when Mark was doing it, he wasn't doing anything online, or he just had
he had a sort of catalogue online, and he was getting the odd sale here and there from it. But virtually all his sales came from an existing incredibly loyal customer base. And also each year, Mark, and we've continued to do this, have 6 open weekends. So the last 2 weekends in June and all the weekends in July, we have open weekends where people come and buy daylilies from us direct, and drink tea and eat yummy cake.
And talk about how many daylilies they've got.
Oh, so it's not a nursery as such where it's just open.
No, it's not open all the time. People can come by appointment, but we are only open with the gates open to the public on those 6 weekends, because that's when we've got the blooms.
And when you have those open days, do people come from far and wide?
They do.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, and they're we've got some incredibly loyal customers that we've grown to, they've become friends now. And they were Mark's customers, and they come 3 or 4 times in the season, to have cake, and they still keep buying daylilies, which is great.
And they must have been very grateful when, and they must be very grateful when you got things really set up well online, so they didn't have to be
Yeah,
looked at by us.
I think so. I mean, they still come because it's a really great community. There aren't many specialist daylily nurseries. There's only probably 3 in the country now.
Right.
And
where are they located?
The one is in Hampshire.
Yep, Isle of Wight and in New Forest area.
New Forest area, yeah.
Oh, so they're quite close together, and then you're up Shropshire way.
Yeah.
And Cambridgeshire. Strictly daylilies is Cambridgeshire.
Oh, Cambridgeshire and Hampshire, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And why are there so few daylily nurseries growers?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the daylilies are very, very popular in America.
Really
popular. They're originally in Asia, but the Americans really took to the daylilies, and you have massive farms, daylily farms out in America. And so Mark's expertise, he really is a daylily missionary. He was always spreading the word. I don't know why there's not more. I mean, general nurseries tend to have maybe 3 or 4 different cultivars, but there's over 100,000 registered cultivars in the world now, and I don't know why there aren't more, because it's probably one of the hardest perennials you can get.
So we didn't know much about daylilies till we saw Young Gardener's World. We have one
that's testimony.
And we have one that's self-seeded in some rocks, and it's a beautiful orange one, and it's beautiful, but it's in the wrong place, but it's staying there because that's where we've got it. After we saw Young Gardener's World, we looked up about New Hope daylilies, and we looked up about daylilies in general, and learned about in the US how popular they are. They're like the poor man's orchid.
That's right,
we were hearing, which makes so much sense when you look at those flowers. And also how they use
the ditch
them in
lily.
the ditch lily, and how they plant great swathes of it in California as a fire break.
Fire breaks,
like 92% water or something like that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they're incredible drought plants because they retain so much water that they can last forever.
It seemed perfect.
They just need lots of sunshine.
Yes,
they do need a sunny spot. They love that.
A sunny spot
is good. And then you said about how they came over from Asia and how they're actually, the entire plant is edible.
Yeah, totally.
I think they're a bit of the Cinderella in the plant world, aren't they? Really. So there's a lot more emphasis in our culture really on irises and peonies and dahlias and roses. Oh my God. But the humble daylily is just quietly doing its thing in the background, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for us to sort of focus on it and to walk around and see so many different blooms, I think that's what was so amazing about our spot on Gardener's
We've
World.
ended up with I think we've got about over 350 now because we've acquired some new ones. And what is amazing is from the end of May throughout into September, depending whether you've got early, mid or late bloomers, you've got blooms throughout the summer. So, whereas
huge season.
In my garden here, we've got quite a big sort of garden with deep borders, and once the peonies have gone and the iris have gone, the daylilies are the ones that are giving them massive pops of colour all the way through the summer when the other things have died back. So that's what I find is quite exciting to, when we get new customers, they're actually realising that not only have they got a plant that gives them colour this year, but because it's so hardy and because it bulks up and they can ultimately divide it, they've got a plant for life really with that plant, and people are really cottoning onto it now. And I think
you're
social media and the website. We'd like to think we're doing something for the humble daylily.
I think it's a really righteous movement, and
thank you very much.
I'm behind it.
Thank you.
Another reason why maybe the popularity is that they've had a bit of a bad press in that people say, "Oh, it only blooms for a day," but in that day,
that's the thing.
It's a really wonderful thing to see. So it does call your attention and does say to you, just stop and just enjoy and admire that daylily.
But it's just one. It's one bloom in a day, isn't it? So you can have 5 or 6 blooms, and they take it in turns to.
Well, some of our plants can have up to like 30 buds,
Yeah.
40 buds on one
Whoa.
plant. And then if you've got a clump that's clumped up over a few years, you might have 40 or 50 buds. So most established clumps that are 2 or 3 years old, most will give you blooms for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6,
So
7
when
weeks.
you've got a clump with 30 buds on it, do they flower in succession, or will you get 3 or 4 flowering at one time?
It jumbles up. Sometimes you can have one opening, and then another day you can have 4 opening. But because there's so many buds on a decent sized clump, you're definitely going to get 6 weeks of bloom out of it.
And they're various sizes as well. So some of the smaller ones, you don't really have to deadhead. You can just leave them, and the sort of spent bloom will look fine a week later, and just leave it.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the larger ones, you're kind of invited to deadhead, which is what we were saying on the Gardener's World.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they go a bit floppy and they drip over ones that are wanting to come up and show their faces.
But you also said on the show that it's not like other plants where you deadhead and you're going to get more blooms as a result of deadheading.
No, it's just
for
aesthetics. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
And it's a nice occupation.
Yeah.
You can go around the garden
a lovely
late
occupation.
at night. Yeah, and have a G&T and do a little bit of deadheading.
Yeah.
And what's quite nice is because if you've got a really open bloom and you know that that's only lasting for a day, it's quite nice just to break it off and put it on a salad or something, because we don't eat all the blooms that we grow, but at the end of the day you're picking it off to put on a salad because you know that it's done its job, so it's not coming back. So you can enjoy it, and they are really lovely.
Fun.
They're really delicious.
Yeah. It's one of the guilts I find with deadheading plants is when actually there's still some colour in that slightly shabby looking flower. I still want to keep it. I don't want to cut them, but here you put it in your salad, you're giving it a second life.
Yeah.
What do they taste like?
I think they taste like sweet lettuce. It's quite very crisp, very fresh,
peppery,
slightly peppery. Yeah,
that really does
sound
nice. And looks really pretty as
and
well.
they look great on cakes too. So you can decorate cakes with them and things. So they're very beautiful.
Yeah, we are converted. We didn't really think much about them, and then after seeing that, we said, right, we need to just get a whole load of these.
A lot of daylilies.
Yeah, Laura daylilies.
Do either of you have a background in horticulture?
Well, I've done 3 years studying it. So once Mark had lit the blue touch paper, I decided I'd go off and do some training in practical horticulture, which I did at Winterbourne for a year, and that was very successful. And then I loved it so much, I went back and did the garden design year.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to do the theory now. So I did the theory online with a good friend, and we got through that. So after that, I feel like that's just gives you a good taste of what's going on, and then the rest is up to you to just fill in the gaps, and that's what you do with life experience. Yeah.
And it is.
And I'd got
learning,
no background. Yeah, I'd got no formal horticultural background, but we've been at this house for about 28 years now, and it's got a big garden, and I've just always loved playing around and finding my favourite flowers. And during lockdown I did quite a big cutting patch, and that gave me a lot of joy. So I've just learned to
quite
gone
green-fingered.
really.
Very.
I'd like to think so.
I think
and
so.
amazing flower arrangement.
Amazing flower arranger. So you're artistic as well, then.
Well, I don't know about that, but I just love. I do love cutting flowers and having them indoors as well as outdoors. I'm sort of greedy. I like my flowers inside and out.
And you get a lifetime supply of daylilies as well, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sneak a few off site. Do you live at the site, or do you how far away from the nursery?
I live about 1.5 miles south of the site, and Liz lives 1.5 miles north of the site. So it's bang in the middle of the two of us.
Close. Yeah.
Really easy to get to. Yeah, it's good.
Well, we should get on with your dream garden.
That'll be exciting.
I'm wondering if there are any daylilies in it.
There might be one or two.
So I'm going to hand you over to our head gardener, Sweet Pea, and she'll take you
very
through.
much. Right. Well, to start off with both of your dream gardens, what would be the garden boundary, so surrounding
the garden?
Well, we've both gone for the same thing, Sweet Pea. We've both gone for a walled garden.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Now this
I don't
is
know.
a loved one.
Yes.
Walled gardens.
Yeah,
They are
it is. And I
amazing.
think it's
Yeah.
partly because they cocoon you, don't they? And they sort of and they've got such a history. So they go way back to the Persian Gardens of Paradise walled gardens, and then we go through, when we had Roman cloisters and places as places of contemplation, and then we've had periods when you've had apothecaries who've been growing, literally having an outdoor medicine cupboard, growing food and medicine.
That's so cool.
And then they sort of became a wonderful place of entertainment. And I think that real history is what kind of feeds both our love of them.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, it's about the sheltering. I love warm weather. I love the heat. I love the sun, and I can't get enough of it in the summer. And obviously, our summers aren't great. So here, I've got quite a big walled garden, and it's
you
stone.
have your dream garden,
and I more or less. It needs a bit of repair, really, but but it's about, as Liz says, it protecting. I'm not a big fan of the wind, and
I get that.
It's really nice to have sheltered warmth and feeling the warmth on your skin. And so for me, it would have to be a nice walled garden that I can hide within.
yeah.
We had Ben from Clapham, whose garden is open through the NGS. We had him on a Chit-Chat, and he talked about these hot walls. Have you heard of those?
Yes.
Where they actually have a fire at one end that sort of feeds through flues in the wall and heats up the wall.
That's like a warm wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really warm wall.
The other way that they did it was
Really
these things called crinkle crankle walls.
Yes.
Have you heard of the crinkle crankle?
Sort of like snakes.
Which is a single brick layer, not double, as it were. So you could do these. You could make it secure, and you could make it sort of. It wasn't going to fall over, so it's
more
sturdy.
structurally sound, isn't it? If it's got a
and then
wave
it would.
to it.
That's right, and then it would capture the sun, and you could use that as a sort of, because each little bay was hot.
I like that.
So in your dream gardens, how are each of you imagining your wall to be, and what kind of stone would it be? What kind of height?
I wouldn't want it really high. I mean, the one we've got at the moment is probably about 6-7 foot high, and that's great. And it's sort of a greyish stone. I like warm stone. It's all about sunshine for me.
Yeah.
But for me, it would also have a lot of things growing over it in quite a wildish sort of way.
Right.
So as many different
vines.
climbers and as I can get, really.
So about 6 foot high with climbers in a greyish stone.
I'm kind of seeing brick.
Liz is going for brick.
That's because one of my favourite places is also in Shropshire, called the Wild Goose Nursery. And that's a beautiful
walled that is
garden.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Walled garden.
Very
That's brick.
high wall.
Okay.
They've got some amazing perennials there, but they have got a lovely brick walled garden.
Is, and I think the height of it determines this enormous height of all their plants. Because when you go in there, it's the plants are so tall, and it must be to do with that. I'm sure.
Yeah. So you'd have a red brick wall and tall.
Yeah.
Tall.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And is it a slightly faded brick with kind of like slightly mossy or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very nice.
Shed or greenhouse? You have to choose between the two.
Well,
Godfrey.
Can I be greedy?
You can kind of do a mix.
My perfect thing would be a really lovely, large timber frame glass house. Really sort of beautiful, old, silvery wood, aged wood, aged oak or cedar. And it would have different compartments in it. It would have palms in, it would have potted citrus in, it would have all lovely tropical type feel, warm again, but then I'd have to have a potting bench, a potting area, and a cutting bench for my cut flowers and potting up area. So it would be a workable space, but then I'd also the one end would be absolutely south facing, and I'd have a languishing area too.
Oh,
so basically as a conservatory as well.
Yeah, it would, but it but it would be really heaving with plants.
Yeah.
What sort of size are we talking?
Oh, big.
Yeah, I'm thinking big.
I'm thinking
yeah.
really
It sounds
big.
like you've got palm trees in there.
Because it's got to have,
Yeah. And a
it's got to
lounging
have
area.
zones. Yeah,
So
it's got
I'm in Kew
yeah.
Gardens.
yeah,
listening.
Yes.
sort of,
Sounds like
yeah,
you.
it's got to,
Huge.
it's got to have lots of areas because it has got to be productive. It's got to have my potting up
Yeah.
area and definitely a cutting bench so I can do my cut flowers and things. But
Yeah.
big.
Wow.
There's a lot of emphasis on heat with yours, Fee.
Yes.
If you could be in any country, would it just be easier to put your garden in a hotter climate?
Brazil.
Yeah, probably.
If you could be in a warmer climate,
I
where
really
would
don't
your
know why
dream
I live
garden
in
be?
the UK, to be honest.
I'm not
don't
sure
know
either. But let's
Well-
sort that for your dream garden. If you could be any country, where would it be?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, that's a really good point. I don't know, really. We've got a house in France, in the south of France, and I love the
Whereabouts?
long summer in the Lot Valley, and I love the long summer there. It's an old farmhouse, and it's got a meadow, and it's got a large garden, and
Oh, wow.
it just that heat, that months of heat. I do need a bit of winter. I will accept a bit of winter. So probably south of France, I would say.
Right. And then, because then
South
you
of
can
France,
still stay close to friends and family.
Yeah,
Just a short,
absolutely.
easy jet flight away.
Yeah,
EasyJet
definitely,
flights.
definitely.
If EasyJet want to sponsor us, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yay.
so we're in the south of France. But yeah, I like the idea of this great big hothouse of yours.
It is all about heat for me. It's all about
Yeah, I can
feeling
tell.
warm and cosy in my garden.
Yeah.
Wow. And I've stipulated a hexagonal rotating summer house.
Just rotate. So on a massive
Water
lazy
set.
Susan.
Yeah, yeah,
And
big
then your
lazy Susan.
hexagonal sun has.
Yeah. So I'm going
Wow, a rotating one.
Yeah. So I can
Rotating.
just angle it to the sun, get it
But
so
if it's hexagonal,
follow the
isn't
sun.
it? Isn't that
Well, you
part of
have-
it always facing the sun?
you
Well, you
tend
can
to
have to
have
face
one of
somewhere.
those. Yeah, you've got like a wooden back, 3 sides or 4 sides
Okay.
of wood and
Fair
4
enough.
sides of glass. And then inside
So it's
there, I've got
automated. The rotation's automated.
Oh,
you
no,
don't have to
no,
get
you
out
just-
and heave it round.
No, you just point it to the sun and get in it like a pod.
Jump in.
Like a
Merry
pod.
go
Yeah.
round.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. It's not going to move. It's not going to make me feel sick. It's just going to be
no.
a lovely space to be able to chill.
So
just relax.
this is purely for sort of sitting back, reading a book.
That's right.
In
exactly.
the warmth of the
yeah.
sun.
It's because I'm just a very doing. I'm always doing. I don't really sit down very much. I'd like somewhere
get
to
that,
entice me to just get in my little IKEA Poang chair with footroots.
It's so true, especially through the warmer months. I'll force myself onto a hammock. We've just got an IKEA hammock. And it's my thing, isn't it? Weekend sleep. Yeah. So I just want 2 hours and my book in the hammock. And just that's such a luxury, isn't it?
That's exactly what I do. I have a hammock and my book, and sometimes my earpods to listen to good music, and I just lose myself for a couple of hours.
Good music or good old Chit-Chat podcast. Also,
Yeah,
I can
Both.
recommend.
Combination of both. Good old Chit-Chat podcast, definitely.
Well, that's the first time we've had a
Oh my gosh.
rotating sun house on a massive lazy Susan.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that one.
That's so amazing. Right, 5 ornamentals for both of you, and whoever wants to go first. This is going to be amazing. My favourite bit.
Go on then, Fee.
Okay. Well, my 5 ornamentals would be scabious, Scabious caucasica, peonies, Peonia lactiflora coral charm. That's a beauty.
Oh, lovely.
Hemeracalis, 2
course.
specials, of course. Moonlit Summerbird is gorgeous, and A Pillow of Winds, which is a new one that we've got. Alliums, Allium schubertii, that's beautiful, and my ever favourite wisteria to drape all over my walls, to drip all down the stone walls that I'm going to have in my dream garden.
Okay.
That's lovely.
Very
And
good.
Liz, what are yours?
My ornamentals are Verbena bonariensis, Rosa
Oh, yeah, I love that.
tottering. Yeah, it is good. Isn't it? Rosa tottering by gently, and then I've got Hemeracalis wee willy winky. And then I've got Stipa tenuissima.
Oh, yeah.
I've got Allium firmament. And finally, Phlomis russelliana.
Gosh, so we have 2 overlaps, the Hemerocallis and the alliums. Although different alliums. Right, so first of all, Pillow of Winds. What a beautiful name for the Hemerocallis.
Yeah.
And you said that's a new one that you've got
It's a new one. We were really lucky to be approached in our second year at New Hope through the Hoster and Hemerocallis Society, the British Hoster and Hemerocallis Society, by a gentleman called Robin Poole, who was hybridising his own daylilies. And as a hobby, many people do hybridise their own and create a new cultivar. We don't hybridise, we just have stock. And Robin contacted us and said he'd got 4 different daylilies that would we be interested in having. And we said, well, are they registered? Because we need to have some sort of kudos and confirmation that they are real daylilies, if you know what I mean. And he hadn't, but he then registered them, and he very generously gave us some of his daylilies. So we are the only suppliers in the world of his, which is really exciting. But they're beautiful. He's got such an eye for creating new daylilies. And a Pillow of Winds is a what we call an unusual form in a daylily. So unusual forms mean that they are either crispate or have quilling petals. There's different categories of unusual form, and his is a crispate, and the petals, well, the sepals cascade and they're gold, but the backs of them, the backs of the sepals are streaked orange red. So they're really in the sunshine. They're beautiful, and you know, we're really delighted that we've now got a real friendship with Robin and his wife, and that you know, they've visited, and it's part of our community growing all the time. And you know, we've had another gentleman offered us another collection recently, you know, which we're taking on, and it's really exciting, that is, because that's their passion. You know, they've spent years developing these daylilies, and they've put so much time and energy into it, and for us to have that enthusiasm and want it in the nursery and to then sell it is really exciting for them too, hopefully.
Because we would never, I don't think either of us would ever have the patience to hybridise. You really
I was going to ask you.
I've made Liz promise that we're never going to hybridise.
It's a real art.
Like the little bugger one.
Yeah. It's
sweet.
We won't forget that.
It is. But it's a real art to do it, and the patience you've got to have, and the segregation of your seedlings in year 1, year 2, year 3. It's a real art form, and I just hats off to Robin and other people who do that. And you know, as I say, Robin has created beautiful daylilies that we are thrilled to have in the nursery.
God, that must be so exciting when you get that.
It is exciting,
Yeah, I'd love that. Always discovering new things.
Yeah.
And then what was your Hemerocallis, Liz?
I'd chosen Wee Willie Winky.
Oh, yes, that was it. Wee Willie Winky.
I love this so.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Late flowering. It's very tall. It's got beautiful small yellow trumpets, and it wafts about with quite high bud count.
Great.
So you know, when it gets going, it really
it is one of my favourites too. We both like the tall wafty daylilies, don't we?
Yeah. And they stay upright, don't they? They don't flop over.
You don't need to stake them.
That's
That's amazing.
Such good plants, aren't they?
The flower stalk.
My nemesis is flopping over plants.
Yeah.
It's
and having to stake them all the time.
Permanently staking them, and the expense of stakes.
Yeah, you definitely.
What did you say the flower stalk was called?
Escape.
Oh, that's right. I remember you talking about the escape. Is that specific to Hemerocallis?
Well, it's specific to a flower stalk with no leaf on it, so it just has the flowers on it.
Right.
So the leaf is separate. The scape comes up out of the ground, and it's very exciting, isn't it? Because you know what's going to happen next.
So a tulip, for example, just that straight long bit is the scape.
Yeah, I'd say probably.
I suppose it probably is. I hadn't thought of that. It does have leaves growing off it, I suppose, doesn't it?
It's wrapped around the base, which is subtly different.
Yeah.
So where are the leaves coming from?
The base,
the crown. They're coming from the crown of the plant. So they come, and they're sort of quite mound-like in appearance. It's quite distinctive in a daylily. So they're mound-like. And then you've got so that emerges, the foliage emerges, unless it's an evergreen.
And then the scapes come up.
Yeah.
And you suddenly spot them, and they're coming up,
and they come up fast. They come up within a few days. You've got scapes that are quite tall.
Do they come up with a bud already on the top?
Yes.
Yeah. All the buds are there ready. So from the scape, amazing. You'll have branching off the scape.
Yeah.
The terminology with daylilies is 2-way, 3-way, 4-way branching. So the more branches you've got, the more likelihood you're going to have more blooms. You're going to have more buds and blooms.
And when I was reading up about Mark, he said something about using nitrogen-rich soil. Well, I think that's with all plants, isn't it? If you've got nitrogen-rich soil, you get more foliage.
So we use potassium when we plant ours. We put some wood ash into the soil to just give a natural source of potassium, which is good for fruit and flower.
Right, got it.
Yeah. Do you have to do a lot of feeding with?
No, we don't.
No, not at all.
That's another wonderful thing about the daylily. Is that it's so
best plant?
The
daylilies we have in the ground, actually planted in the ground, we never ever water. We water ones in pots, but the ones in the ground we never have to water because they just retain the moisture from a rainy day, and then they can be quite happy in a drought for 3 months if they need to.
And equally they can sit in water. Like we had so much water with the recent snow and stuff, and there was some.
So they can handle that as well.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting in icy water for 6 weeks, and
I thought, oh no! But actually,
they could do it all.
You don't need to worry; they're fine.
How hardy are they?
Very,
very hardy. Yeah. In America, it's like -10 and -15, isn't it?
And Asia, of course,
real
extremes in temperature. Yeah. Wow, unbelievable plants. Why have we not had more of a movement with them?
Exactly.
This is amazing. I did just want to ask you, Liz, about the allium and the phlomis that you chose. The allium, I didn't quite catch the variety, and the phlomis.
It was called allium firmament.
What's the firmament like?
Well, I think it's just got a purple blobby.
Another purple blob.
I actually can't tell you exactly why it's different, but I mean, I know there are just so many of them. But the one I'd rather talk about is phlomis, because when that comes up, it's got these lovely sort of feeding stations where the flower comes from. Like it'll have a stalk with about 3 different heads on it at 3 different levels.
Cool.
I know.
Yeah, it's like tiers of a cake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there is a word for it, like a whirlescence or something. I can't remember now. But anyway, when the architecture of them in winter is so beautiful, and the seed heads are there at the 3 levels, and the birds can then come and feed at the different levels, whatever they feel like, there are 2 types, but the one I'm thinking of is yellow, but I think that's the Rosseliana.
Yeah. I do love that one, and it pops up all the time on Garden as well. I see it, and I'm like, phlomis, there we go. That's more phlomis.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where you don't know what it is, and then you see it everywhere.
And you know it, you can recognise it.
Yeah, great.
Completely.
And then your wisteria fee, is that a purple or a white?
I like the light blue and purple ones, but I like all wisteria. I mean, the house in France we've got is a really old farmhouse, and it's dripping 3 sides of the house against a golden stone, and it's just heaving, absolutely heaving. And the sound that you get of all the insects feeding off it constantly in the spring is just, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Is it a fragrant one?
It is. That one's very fragrant. And it's beautiful. It's quite heady. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And how do you handle the upkeep of that? Because
that is a nightmare, because we rent the house out, and we've got amazing people who look after the house when we're not there. But the one job I have whenever I go, the first job before anything else is getting my clippers out, and I just brutally clip back the wisteria with 5 wheelbarrow loads. Well, not quite to the bone, but just so that we can walk up the stone steps to the front door and get in the door and open the windows and open the shutters. And, you can have 5 barrow loads and still have loads of foliage. And the foliage is so lovely in the summer. It's so green and bright.
Lovely,
it's beautiful.
But are you needing to get up a ladder to get it out of the roof tiles?
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. It's a nightmare in many ways, but it just, for me, planting and flowers, and it's all about memories as well. And I just look at a wisteria and it just takes me straight back to that, the sounds and the feel of the house, and my favorite restaurant in France, in the Lot Valley, is La Récréation, and it's an old schoolhouse, and it's got a beautiful, very, very old wisteria, and just the branches all twining, it's just gorgeous. It's a lovely, so I've got so many happy memories of being there with the family and our daughters, and as they were growing up, because we've had it quite a long time. And so it's all about memories for me, and gardens can really sort of trigger wonderful memories, I think.
I did just want to ask finally, Liz, about the rose called Tottering by Gently. What is that like?
What a great name.
It's a lovely name.
Awesome names. Well, I love all the names.
What came first, the cartoon or the rose?
Who is the cartoon?
Do you know the cartoon? Isn't it Lord and Lady Tottering by Gentleys? The Tottering by Gentleys? And they're really funny. She's like your real Sloane Ranger. She's always in sort of quilted jackets and tartan skirts, and she's leaning up against her Aga, and then he's the sort of rather downtrodden husband. Beautiful. I'll send you afterwards. Yes, I reckon you like the humour is hilarious. There's nothing to do with the rose.
It might be named after it.
I must find out. But it's a beautiful, small, very open, pale yellow flower, and I love. You get a. It's almost looks a little bit like a potentilla, but it's a very beautiful, lovely open, and I love its quiet status. It's just there, and I love its name. Really, it's just such a beautiful rose, and the pollinators love it.
You have it in your garden.
I have it in my garden. Yeah.
Beautiful.
How big is your garden, by the way, Liz?
I've only got a small townhouse, so I've only got a small garden, but it's probably the size of a badminton.
The size of a badminton court.
Yeah.
That's quite specific.
Very specific.
I need to look up the measurements of.
Because I can't picture it.
I think it was smaller than a tennis court.
Yeah. I think it's
and then
smaller.
The Verbena bonariensis, again, that was something I was just so inspired at Wild Goose Nursery because of the height of it.
Yes.
It was so high that you walked through it. You literally walked through it.
What sort of height are you talking?
Above your head height, so
8 foot.
Really?
Yeah. And imagine walking.
Wow.
It's incredible. And the stem on Verbena bonariensis is square. And that's why
it's so cool, isn't it?
It's angular, isn't it?
Really cool plant.
I nearly had Verbena on my final list of 5, but I planted Verbena seeds when I did my cutting patch, along with loads of tulips and peonies and all sorts of others. And the Verbena just went absolutely bonkers and ended up 8 foot high, drowned out all the sweet peas that I'd got growing on the trellis at the side.
No.
And I loved them, but I couldn't get rid of them. I was pulling them up for years,
Really? Self-seeding everywhere.
Anybody who came to visit, I was saying, do you want a Verbena? Do you want a Verbena? so they
dig it up.
They fell off my list because they were just too active, too there in your face, but they are beautiful. I do love them.
I can't believe I've gone and planted, because we have this kind of gravelly terrace area, and I've gone and sown a whole load of Verbena exactly,
in the gravel,
a whole load of Verbena bonariensis in the gravel.
You'll be very happy with the germination of them.
Germination rates.
I'm worried about it now. What would be 5 edible plants in your garden?
Oh, okay. Edibles for me, anything edible, because my garden has to feed my love of food and passion for entertaining and things like that. So citrus, anything I could grow in my beautiful big glass house. So those fresh limes, passion fruit, even if I could get those growing.
Wow!
I love rhubarb. I love the form of the rhubarb leaves. That's really exciting. I've always got a big clump of rhubarb in my garden, which doesn't get forced or anything. It just looks pretty and ornamental. But I have so much rhubarb off it. Got to have some new potatoes. Those first new potatoes of the year I've got to have.
Potatoes.
A cherry tree. Again, lots of memories of picking cherries from the trees in France that we've got. And peas, because I've got to eat straight from the pod.
Oh, right.
There you go.
I'm very simple that way.
From a pod.
Absolutely.
I get
they
it.
They wouldn't make it to the pan.
Rodney Monge too.
Rodney Monge
So, yeah, those are my edibles.
Yeah, great.
And Liz?
My edibles are, well, I counted Hemeracalis, another one.
Oh, yeah.
So
I like what you do.
Moving on, we'll go for potato.
Oh, there we go.
My luxury on a desert island would have to be potato plant. And
on a desert island?
Yeah. Because you can have them so many different ways.
Yeah, I get that.
This is true.
Yeah, but
that's the one.
But not on a desert
island.
You wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't have your onions.
Fryer, an oven,
a chip maker, crisps.
Now back to the dream garden. Where dreams do come true.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So it would be the pink fir apple.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Do you like
I think
that
we've
one?
had that once before.
Yeah, have you? And the funny story about that is that I do work one day a week in the local whole food shop called Harvest. And
how are you finding time, Liz?
Well, it's just one day in the winter. In the winter,
anyway. Of course.
Okay,
got it.
But we have a box of pink fir apples and a label, of course, all handwritten. And for years, it's spelled pink fir FUR apple. Until a customer sort of pointed out, actually, it's FIR.
So you had like furry apples, right?
Yeah, furry apples.
I just thought, it's a funny name, It's bound to be FUR.
So
that is
it
brilliant.
took a customer to point it out.
But don't you just love the idea of a pink fir apple?
A furry pink apple.
Yeah, you've got that. And the other three, I've gone for the three sisters.
Your apple.
I've gone for sweet corn, beans and squash. And I just love that story of the Native American way of growing, where you'd have the sweet corn would be the structure to grow your beans up. The beans fix the nitrogen for the sweet corn.
The three sisters.
That's it. And you have the squash as your mulch covering the ground.
Yeah.
But apparently that woman who does the almanac called Leondertz, she did this and found that when you grow the beans up the sweet corn, they completely swamp the sweet corn and you can't see the sweet corn.
They're huge.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
So she recommended grow your beans separately and do the sweet corn and the squash, sort of a UK version. But it would have been because she said in Native American times you wouldn't have harvested things fresh like we do here. They would have grown them all up and then they would have ground the corn for maize and they would have canned the beans, and kept them as chutney or something, and then the squash of course keeps forever.
Yeah. Fee, you were talking about peas and plucking those straight from the plant, gobbling those up. Absolutely delicious.
Yeah. Again, that's memories from when I used to go and stay with my nan and papa in the school holidays, because both mum and dad worked, so we'd be dumped with my grandparents, and my grandfather had the most amazing small allotment next to his semi-detached little cottage. It was idyllic, immaculate little allotment, and I just remember as a 3, 4, 5-year-old having to go and pick the peas and learning how to shell the peas and stringing the beans, and I've just got such strong childhood memories, of really fond memories, and it was always hot in those memories. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't, but 1976 hot. And
1976 there was that heat wave, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. It was incredibly
photos
hot.
of me in my toweling pants.
Yeah, I had toweling hot pants actually.
Well, that sounds cuter than mine. Mine were just toweling pants, nothing else, running around a really arid garden.
It was incredibly hot.
Yeah.
And so having peas and, just eating them fresh and putting them in a bowl of salad, not having to cook. Keeping it simple. It's lovely.
We do exactly the same. We put our peas in salads, totally raw. The sweetness of them.
Yeah.
They're so special,
There's nothing
aren't they?
better.
You have no idea what a pea
nothing
is.
better.
Like that.
And I think those times of picking peas and stringing beans and digging potatoes with my grandpa really sort of educated me subconsciously about the benefits of and the well-being from gardening as much as the eating from gardening.
I think also if when you're younger you've been involved on an allotment. So my dad, some neighbours lent Dad some land if he just kept it nice, and so and he was amazing in the garden. And we would go out and we'd harvest the beetroot and eat it fresh from the garden, and sometimes
and the caterpillars on the cabbage.
Chore. Yeah, well, sometimes it felt like a chore having to go and get Ixia to go over a wall and down a path and get them, and then we'd have things like the broccoli with the caterpillars in, and you would have the caterpillars on your plate. Obviously having been steamed, and Dad saying, "Well, just eat them because they are basically broccoli," and it really put me off broccoli from the time. But along with those bad memories were all the good memories of that, and also it kind of set my benchmark, because that was normality. You got it from the soil. It was normal to have some dirt on your vegetables. All of that was a normality. So then
it's that understanding of where it comes from, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the effort that goes into it.
I think it's really important education, even if it's a subconscious education.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's like, as you grow older and you acquire your own home and what have you, having a garden or, somewhere where you can grow some vegetables isn't an alien conception. It's something that you think, oh, I'm old, I'm grown up now. I can actually grow my own flowers or vegetables.
Yeah.
So it's not an alien concept. It's just like it's in you already somehow.
It's innate, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What squashes were you going for, Liz?
Oh, I suppose I'd probably let's go for Crown Prince.
And also, Liz, what was the hemerocallis? Do you have a specific one that you think is the best tasting one?
Oh, there isn't such a thing, really, is there, as the best tasting one? We don't think.
No, I think they all taste very similar. They all taste very fresh. Sometimes, I don't know whether it's my brain telling me, I think the darker ones taste more peppery than the pale ones, but I think that might be the placebo, sort of the my mind being tricked by that. But they're all delicious, aren't they?
So what colour, is there a colour you would like in your salad bowl, Liz, or just a variety of?
Let's go with Shady Lady, because I know that I'd be very happy to eat that one. Very happy.
You did mention that as your favourite when you're on garden as well.
I did, yeah. So let's pop that one on top of the salad.
Yeah, and chorus line is very pretty. That's a pretty one to go in the top of the salad bowls.
What colour's that?
It's chorus line is a pale pinky yellow, isn't it?
Now it would be a statement tree in your garden if you had to choose one tree.
I'll go for the winter cherry, which is Prunus autumnalis rosea.
Does that flower in the winter?
It does, yeah. So my aunt's got one, and I saw it this December, and I just thought, isn't that amazing?
Flowering in December?
Yeah. I just think, what a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of climate that needs then? What's your mum's place like?
Oh, my aunt. So,
your aunt.
She lives in Dorset, and it's quite exposed at the back, but there's enough sun. It's south facing, so it just seems to do it. Yeah, it's the right conditions for it.
Beautiful to have a winter, a December flowering tree.
Yeah.
Good idea.
What colour are the blossoms?
They're a lovely sort of pale white, pinky colour.
Right.
Sort of.
And do they produce cherries?
I don't know.
Cherries
that
you can eat.
I think they do produce a berry, which is more edible for birds. I think the berries that come with them are bird focused rather than human focused. So I think it's the flowers for us in the winter, and also sort of pollinators have got a source of
Yeah.
And for
Over
bouquets
winter as well.
flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just really a real spirit lifter.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I didn't know there was a cherry that blossomed in December, and we would love to have some more colour in that sort of gap of no
it's
colour.
gorgeous, isn't it? Have it
Right
in the winter.
Look it up,
Oh, thanks for that one.
Absolutely. And Fiona, what would be yours?
I think mine would have to be a Japanese maple, Acer palmatum.
Just so beautiful.
The idea of having really beautifully shaped green foliage with tiny little red flowers, and then as you're going into winter, it's, for me again, it's that last splash of warmth, colour of really rich reds and oranges, just giving you colour. It's like holding on to a bit of colour and sunshine for as long as possible.
Striking,
for me,
isn't it?
Yeah,
just I really love them. We used to, I think I've mentioned this before, but we used to walk under one every day to school.
Lovely.
And it just and it was massive. It must have been there for decades, and it was really huge and hung over the pavement. And every season it's beautiful. And I used to love it in the autumn when those beautiful hands of leaves would fall on the floor.
Really broad leaves falling down. Yeah, it's
and
just
I just
beautiful.
walk looking up like this, looking up at the ground.
You'd always say to me, "Look up."
I would always I'd say, "Quick, look at the maple."
Beautiful. They're just such beautifully formed leaves, and they're so green and strong and quite glossy in the summer, but then you've still got that beautiful turning of colour, that
very
chameleon.
Special tree.
Yeah, it's great.
We did put one in our garden, but only after we put it in a really exposed place did I read that it shouldn't be in an exposed place.
No, they need to be sheltered. They need to be very sheltered.
Next of all, would you like a pond or a pool and a plant for that area?
I would definitely have quite a not a very neat pool, but a pool that is big enough that I could dip into myself in the summer when it's really hot in my garden.
In your south of France garden,
And,
of course, needed.
I mean, massive, large green ferns, lots of green ferns and grasses, but one giant pickerel weed is a great pollinator, and it's I think it's called Pontidaria onceolata, and it's got really lovely heart-shaped leaves, and then these tall blue spikes. So because I love blues and whites and pale yellows in the garden, so tall blue spikes coming out of these lovely green foliage.
When you say a not very neat pool, are you talking a swimming pool that's been dug in a kind of natural shape? Or
I'm talking a lakey pond.
Gotcha.
Not a neat edged pool. A man-made pool. I'm talking a lakey pond.
So a lake,
but not like massive, but big enough for me to be able to just dip in when it's so you can have a bit of a swim, but only when it's warm. I'm not a wild swimmer or anything. I'm afraid I'm not a cold water plunger.
Yeah,
I get that.
And the pickerel plant is beautiful. We have that in our pond.
Yeah.
It's
is that in the water? Oh yes,
that's the one we've got in the water.
Yeah,
purpley blue.
Yeah, tall spikes of purpley blue.
Really good for damselflies. They like to grip onto them.
Great pollinators. Great pollinators.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do either of you have a pond or water feature or water area?
No.
I've got a little half barrel, which is just my pro tem pond, but I do plan on digging one, but it's not going to happen very soon because of the work we've got with
all the
other
things you're doing.
Yeah, of course. But I would have a pond in my dream garden, and I would have Alisma plantago aquatica, which is a water plantain. And
water plantain?
Yeah, water plantain.
I have heard of this before, but what's it like?
I'll describe it. It's got rosettes of hosta-like leaves.
Okay.
And arising from these airy panicles are delicate white flowers, each with a small yellow spot in the centre. Sounds great.
I could fall asleep to this. This is so lovely to listen to. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that you want to fall asleep. It's so nice to listen to someone. It's so nice to listen to.
Water plantain. So is there part of it that you can eat?
Good question. because you can eat plantain.
Oh yeah,
plantago. Yeah.
There are two types of plantain, aren't there?
There, exactly. There's that one which sets up these kind of spikes of seeds, and it's very
with
thin.
The head.
Yeah, like that.
With a long
it's kind of
lance-like leaf, and then you've got the kind of drumstick top. Those are edible.
Yes.
I don't know about this aquatic one, but it's just the beauty of it.
Ornamental look.
Yeah. Because it's just the attraction for the things flying by.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What would your pond look like? What kind of shape, look, form would you like?
I think really traditional, really. Just sort of...
Sunken or raised?
Sunken. Yeah, sunken.
Sunken.
To see from my little hexagonal summer house.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
Summer house. Okay, so...
Okay, well, finally, what would be your favourite seating area, ideal drink to have there, and one final plant, but for that area?
Oh, I forgot about the drink bit. I think I know, though. It would be some wooden furniture tucked into the corner of my walled, the sunniest spot and most protected spot of my walled garden. And it would probably be paved with flags and gravel and random and cedary wood colour, and beautiful. I'd have big Cretan terracotta pots with my agapanthus in, I think.
An agapanthus.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, definitely. Really big. We've got a few at New Hope of really beautiful terracotta pots from a guy down in Herefordshire, Tom's Yard, and one's like in a shape of a beehive. It's ridged and it's beautiful. Just massive and huge.
Gorgeous.
And the agapanthus coming out of the top of those against the rich terracotta, the colour combination is amazing.
Really pretty.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
And your drink?
Oh, my drink would have to be a gin and tonic with lots of lime and lots of ice.
I thought the gin might come up after mentioning that earlier.
Yeah.
Your image spontaneously did a thumbs up there, even though neither of you were thumbs up.
Really?
So it must be in response to gin.
Thumbs up to gin.
Did you say Tom's Yard?
Yeah, he's down in Herefordshire, just south of Hereford, and he's got. I mean, he started off with Cretan pots, but then he's also imports Italian, and he's now imported some from Vietnam, I think, really recently. And they're unbelievable, and they're really, really good quality. So they're fired at a really high temperature. So
and all hand thrown.
Yeah, they're hand thrown. So they're beautiful looking, but they're also really resistant to frost. I've got some here at home, and we've got some at New Hope, and they're just surviving brilliantly. They're not fracturing. They're not splitting at all.
No, they're brilliant.
But they're a beautiful colour. They're a light terracotta colour, but the width of them, there's some of them are really big, and they're just great statement pieces for the garden. I love them.
Oh, fantastic! Are they expensive?
Well,
not for what they are.
There's, if you go to a standard garden centre, you'd probably get them a little bit cheaper, but they're nowhere near as good quality in my view. I think, but they're not extortionate either.
And they're going to last.
I think it can be a false economy, can't it? With the pots, most of our terracotta pots have split from frost.
Yeah,
which is really upsetting.
Such a shame.
You buy them twice, actually.
But I think it's about the temperature they're fired at, and they're fired at such a high temperature that they really are resistant to frost. And with my terracotta pots, I just, before I put earth in them, compost in them, I line them with bubble wrap. So you can't see the bubble wrap, but you just create a little bit of a gap between the soil or the compost and the outer.
What a good idea
of it.
That's
and I don't
really
know whether.
cool.
I mean, that's certainly none of mine have broken. I've had Tom's here for about 3 years now, and they've not damaged in any way. So I don't know whether that's helped or not. Hopefully it has.
Wow.
Tip thing.
And Liz, what would be your seating area?
In my summer house, I'm going to have an IKEA poang with a footstool.
I love this.
You're going to have to explain what that is.
Sweet Pea, it's the chair that your grandparents have.
Poang.
That is Well, sorry, Liz, it's your chair.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah, describe
so it's a
it.
wooden frame with they have fabric. They also have leather ones, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And then they have a footstool. Very modern looking.
Yeah, but very comfortable.
The most comfortable chairs.
Exactly.
They look so simple.
Yeah.
And yet they're so unbelievably comfortable, aren't they?
They are. Yeah. So.
Oh, this is ringing a bell.
Is it ringing a bell?
Like really, really comfy.
I think there's just like a leather, orangey leather, browny
lovely.
orange.
I love the sound of that.
Yes.
Because then I'd have in with me. I'd have an orange tree, a little orange tree.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's so sweet.
You're bearing lots of fruit that you can just pluck. And
just something that's there all year round.
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing to my seating area, please?
Yes.
Oh my God, of course.
It has to have a hammock.
Oh,
I'm with you, Bear. It has to have a hammock.
Nothing like a hammock, isn't
Nothing like a hammock.
They're just so comfortable.
Course.
Again, it's back to just a basic fabric slung between two posts, and there's nothing more
fits your body.
Your body just you fold into it.
Absolutely. And with a book and your gin and tonic.
Yeah. Oh, bliss.
No better place, is
Have
there?
you ever fallen asleep in it?
Oh, totally. Yeah. Regularly.
It happens.
Do you have a fabric one or do you have a string one?
I've got a hammock one. Hammock one.
You've got a hammock.
I've got a fabric one. I've got a wide fabric one, but it's actually on a stand because then I can move it under a tree if I've had too much sun, and I can move it under one of the trees in the garden. It's quite heavy to move, but you can move it with one person. So, it's really it was a good investment.
When you're lying in it, do you do what I do, where you are looking at it as you're swinging back and forth, and you're thinking, how could I create a motor that will gently swing this back and forth for me? Have you ever thought that? I think about engineering a motor system.
I think I fall asleep too quickly to think about the engineering of it. I think I'm just quite happy to languish in it.
I was thinking a bit of rope attached to the motor. It only needs to turn a bit.
Good thinking. Just
and
rock you gently.
Yeah. Gives you that little waft.
Most essential thing about a hammock.
And then Liz, what was your drink going to be?
I think it's going to be the predictable G&T, but I'd have a slice of cucumber in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
2 gin and tonics coming up.
Yeah, thank you. That's lovely.
Right, so going back through the dream garden, you both wanted a walled garden. However, Fiona, you wanted it not too high, 6-7 foot high, greyish warm stone, lots of climbers over it. And Liz, you wanted a brick, tall wall with kind of faded a bit with mossiness. Then, shed or greenhouse. Fiona, you had a large timber framed glass house, silvered age, kind of oak, cedar wood. Lots of different kind of areas, palms, potted citrus, tropical areas, then potting area and cutting area, as well as then in the south facing area, a lounge bit. And Liz, you wanted a hexagonal rotating summer house. We're going to call it the Lazy Liz. And
Lazy Liz.
4 sides of glass, 4 sides kind of wood.
Filled.
Then 5 ornamentals we had for Fiona: Scabious caucasica, peonies coral charm, hemerocalis moonlit summer bird, a pillow of winds, wisteria, that light blue one, and alliums Schubertii, I think was the name.
Schubertii, yeah.
Schubertii is amazing name. And then Liz, we had Verbena bonariensis, rose tottering by gently, hemerocalis wee willy winky, stipa tenuissima, allium firmament, thank you, and Phlomis rosaliana. Then 5 edibles we had for Fiona: citrus, limes, passion fruit, rhubarb, new potatoes, cherry tree, peas. For Liz, we had hemerocalis, possibly shady lady, potatoes, the pink fir apple as the variety, sweet corn, beans, and squash, possibly crown prince. Then 1 statement tree. Liz, we had winter cherry, Fiona, Japanese maple. Pond or pool plus 1 plant. Fiona, you wanted a lake kind of pond pool for dipping into in the summer, massive with massive grasses and ferns around, and a pickerel weed. And Liz, you had a pond, the traditional kind of sunken look with a water plantain in there. And then finally, for Fiona, hammock. I put lots of exclamation marks next to it, but also wooden furniture, area tucked away in a sunny spot of the walled garden, paved with flags and gravel, cedar wood, Cretian terracotta pots with agapanthus in, gin and tonic with lots of lime and lots of ice. And then Liz, you had in your summer house the IKEA Poang chair plus footstool, an orange tree, and a gin and tea and slices of cucumber.
Yay!
Yeah.
They sound pretty cool, don't they? Are you going to come and visit and have G&T with us?
We certainly are. I'll
Yes,
bring my coat.
I'll have the tea bit.
Thank you very much. It's been a good old chit-chat with Liz and Fee.
Oh, we've had a lovely time. Thank you so much. It's been great fun to chat through with you both.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you guys
so much.